Hello and welcome to the program, your program, Familycore, where we talk about everything about the family. Today, we'll be talking about COVID-19 and its impact on technology. And in the house, I have a youth to discuss the topic. I'm sure all of us have been impacted one way or the other by COVID-19 as regards technology. When we come back after this break, I'll introduce my guest to you. Welcome back. We're still on your program, Familycore, and we're talking today about COVID-19 and its impact on technology. And also I have a young man, he's a Gen Z, and you understand why I'm bringing somebody like that to discuss the topic COVID-19 and its impact on technology. I have Al-Amin, the graduate of electronics engineering from the University of Lagos, and is a tech evangelist. So, Al-Amin, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I'm humbled to be here.
Yes. Generally, what do you think about COVID-19 and technology?
Well, for one, I'd like to correct you. I'm not a tech evangelist. I think this period has really brought out the tech savvy out of everyone. But first of all, I'd like to put a question to you. Who is the richest man in the world now?
Elon Musk.
And who is right behind him?
Jeff Bezos.
So it's really no coincidence that these men that are at the forefront of technology are the richest people in the world, because they have, they say if something bad doesn't happen, there are a lot of professions that won't be existing. If there aren't car accidents, there won't be doctors. If there aren't, if there's no hunger, there won't be farmers. Stuff like that. So if not for this, pandemic, those people won't be that rich. Yeah. So every facet of life has been impacted by technology. I mean, the easiest or the most common or the most impacted would probably be education, because a lot of students and kids now have to study from home. You have to do virtual studying, Zoom, Google Meet. Little kids even know how to use computers more than everyone now, and then even the adults that are, run from technology. It's a need now more than a want. So they have to. They also need to communicate with people all over the world. They have businesses. I mean, as old as they are, they also have businesses that they run. They can't run them. They can't leave their houses. They also have to run these businesses virtually. Working from home has been feasible. Doable because of technology. Meetings. Another area that has really been that has been impacted by technology is delivery services. Because of delivery services, applications are used to deliver food, shopping for groceries, shopping for daily needs. You don't need to leave your house anymore. You have your phone to order things and then have delivered. So I think every facet of life has been impacted by technology by a great deal, and I'm sure we'll get into it.
Okay, so let's start from education. Now, it was seen that a lot of schools didn't find it easy switching to virtual learning in Nigeria. Last year, I am aware that a lot of students graduated in other countries, but not in Nigeria. What do you think we could have done differently?
I mean, I haven't graduated myself. I have some form of certificate, but I haven't had my graduation. A lot of universities abroad, like you mentioned, have already done virtual graduations. It's basically just development and should I say initiative taken by those universities. I mean, they have their setbacks. There's the country is not developed as we'd like it to be, but they won't find it as easy as those other countries to conduct those virtual graduations and whatnot. So I think it's growing on them that they have to take those initiatives to be able to make those things happen, and then also the the virtual classes have already started. Like I said, it's growing on them to take those initiatives. Started having virtual classes, even though it's been really difficult. It's been easy for the students to attend those classes, but it's been hard for them to learn as much. It's been easy for the lecturers to give those classes, but difficult for them to operate those devices because that's not really been their forte. That's not their MO, their mode of operation. So, like I said, it's a growing initiative on everyone to to get with the program, basically, to be able to go back to status quo eventually.
What would you say, like lecturers, the oldies,
Yes.
they find it difficult to change, and then even before COVID came, I'm aware that even in Nigeria, there's some lecturers that were doing some teaching online.
Yes, some lecturers had taken those initiatives beforehand. So while I was still in university, some lecturers they've already sent you the materials that you need. You study them before class. You come to class. They don't have to do much in class. So I think this period it's been really good for the older generation. Maybe not just education, but like generally, because there are a lot of I've noticed there are a lot of people in the older generation that lose jobs from age 50 or by age 40. They've lost their jobs because they cannot. The world is moving fast, and they can't really. They can't conform to what is now, because the older you get, the more stubborn you are. So it's a fact. So you need to. It's forced them to try. I mean, like I said, it's more of a need than a want now. They need to make money one way or the other to fend for their families. So as the lecturers too, you can't lose your job because you cannot operate Zoom or you can't operate Google Meet. So the ones that have taken the initiative beforehand will find it easier, and the ones that will take the initiative now and then, it's never an initiative. They need to do it to keep their jobs, basically. So it's been difficult, but they'll get there eventually.
Okay, thank you so far. We'll go on a break now, and then when we come back, it's still your program, Familycore, and we're discussing COVID-19 and its impact on technology with Al-Amin. Stay tuned.
Online businesses have blossomed, they have boomed, okay? Before you had to pay for stores and you had to pay. Now you see it's a two-way thing, right? There is a giving and there is a taking. So all the event centers have shut down. So taxes that those people generate for the government, it's gone, right? But people have stopped. People now do Zoom weddings, okay? People do Zoom celebrations, even burial. Like we lost a colleague, and we sat down in our homes and we attended the funeral, right? So a whole lot of things. So people are no longer paying for shops. People are now sitting down in their houses and they are doing online stuff. Okay, I had some people just advertise on social media, CEO this, CEO that in their own household, but they're already CEO. So it has affected positively and negatively.
Welcome back. It's still your program, Familycore, and we're discussing today COVID-19 and its impact on technology. And I have in the studio with me Al-Amin. Now, you were talking about those lecturers that were sending materials before now and then, so they're able to switch to online teaching. Let's move now to work. Now, the new normal, COVID-19, how has it impacted work as per technology?
So I'm lucky to be in that category. I work from home myself. How do I put this? The platforms are there. Let me put it this way: the platforms are there. Slack is there. The Slack is for texting, for work texting. Let me put it that way. I don't think there's been more activity on Slack or LinkedIn as this period, in terms of like jobs and then working from home. We also
What is Slack? I'm sure
sorry.
a lot of people don't know.
Slack is
a lot of people know Zoom.
Yes, a lot of people know Zoom. Slack is a messaging platform that is mostly used for work-related conversations.
So as colleagues, I can send documents.
Exactly.
To you and we can exchange.
Exactly. That's so. Yeah. So so Slack has been a very big.
Does it have video engagement?
No. Don't. Just documents and text between the way you have departments in your offices and you have department offices, you have department labels on Slack, and then you have departmental conversations in there. You can't converse in some groups because you don't have access to them because you're not in those departments, and then you have the general groups and
exactly if you have ad hoc.
Exactly. So then the meetings at different times. Sorry, you can have meetings. I think it's even the level of productivity is even higher when you work from home, because I've been chance to work with 2 different companies at this period, and KPIs that take longer to deliver are delivered at shorter periods because, okay, for example, I'm a software engineer, so I don't really need to move around. I just need to write code based on the requirements of my supervisor. I just stay at home, I pick the time that I want to write code. For me, I write code at night. I sit down. That's the time that I want to be productive. I even have more time because I can, move. I can walk around. I can move my schedule very much more, personally. Unlike having to, spend time going to work, spend 1 hour transport going to the office, 1 hour transport going back. Time that I don't even have to take a bath to join a meeting. I don't have to take a bath to join a meeting. I don't have to take a bath to, I can be.
And even on Slack, you don't need to get dressed.
So it's a plus for companies that don't need human interaction, that don't need, the interaction between customer and product is not physical. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
So the product that most companies now have is the application. All they need is their phone. Unlike food vendors, kind of need to go there yourself. But then they were bridging the divide now with delivery services. So going back to your question, working from home, I think has been good, more good than bad. And then there's also the issue of people are home now working. It's good for the environment. The Lagos is, for example, is bombarded with people. Traffic here and there, gas emissions. The environment is doing well with working from home. So working from home, I think, has been more positive than negative.
I believe I would agree with you, because I learned of a lady who was on furlough, was told to go on leave and will not be paid for the period because of COVID-19, and then she started her own business. She's doing well. Another young chap who started an online business, like online market, and it bridges between buyers and.
So many of my friends are entrepreneurs now. I almost went into that not too long ago, but commitment and determination steered me away from that and then my career path. So everyone that's idle-handed right now has taken the initiative to get busy, try to make some money on the side.
Looking at working from home, I had a staff that we had to suspend till after the lockdown because it wasn't productive. What do you need to be productive when working from home? Because you said you enjoy it better than going to the office. So what do you need most?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Okay, so what drives you? This person was not productive at home. Just work on your system, deliver stuff, do stuff, and we see it in the office. You send as mail, or you upload on the website or on social media or whatever, and then the person is not productive. And then you talked about more productivity and delivering on deadlines. What do you need most?
I think it's the change of system for the person. That's probably what I see as a deterrent for someone that has all that, leeway to change their schedule as much as they want to be productive. I think it's the change of system might be different. Someone is used to waking up in the morning and going out. The change of system might
and being supervised
and
directly.
being supervised directly. So if and then I think it's more of a personal thing. If you're being paid to do something, I mean your sense of commitment and determination should
She
stay.
was being paid. It was being paid. Maybe you are more self-disciplined.
Yeah, that's like I said, it's a personal thing. I mean, I think it was a good decision from you to let the person go eventually.
Yeah. So let's talk about businesses now. Businesses. We talked about work, business, SMEs. A lot of SMEs don't know how to come online. What advice would you give? And then some of them also think that it's costly to be online. So during the lockdown, it's tough. And even now, it's still tough for some people. What advice would you give?
I'm sure if they did proper research, they would find out that their businesses are even better run online than in person. A lot of stores now are online. I have friends that own stores that all they have is a warehouse. They don't have a physical front for the shop. Instagram isn't paid. You don't need to pay to be an maybe you might need to pay to maybe get followers or something on your platform to increase your customer interaction, yeah. But it's cheaper. It's definitely cheaper. And then the ones that maybe want to get a website, it's really not that expensive to hire an engineer. If I'm sure if they run their cost and run the numbers, they'll find out that take away a couple of their stores, a couple of their outlets, shut off the electricity there, shut off all the the things that take their usual things. Just get a warehouse and use that money to hire an engineer, put things online. All you need is 1 or 2 delivery people, and then they find out that things move easier. It's just the research that people need to do, to move on to what the status quo is right now. And business need to go online because people are home. Even people that don't have money, they see things online and like, my last 5K. Why not? I did something like that last week. This is my last money, but this thing looks good. Because I'm not going out. I don't see it on the road. I've been looking for this thing. I see it online. I'm going to get it. So people need to understand that the people that don't know yet need to know that life is really on the phone right now. Life that's what we're doing right now. That's what our life is right now, and then they need to move to the status quo. They need to move with the program.
So life is really on the phone now. So be on your phone if you are into any form of business. Now, as a member of Fajim Medicare Foundation, what are the things you do to impact the society technologically?
I think the biggest thing anyone can really do is to give awareness. So awareness on the dangers of COVID-19. You want to run your businesses in order to make money, but you can't do it when you're on sickbed. So how does this information get to people? Social media and other platforms that the older generation are on are not primarily on. The younger generation already have a lot of this information, because you find out that things and then your mom doesn't know them because she's not privy to this information. So what we do is, on all social media platforms, we try to create awareness, put out, we do webinars, we do, this is one of the things that we're doing this show right here. Basically, it's awareness on all social media platforms that we've been able to educate people on how they should live their lives in order for their businesses to keep running, in order for their lives to keep running, in order for them to be able to put food on the table, for them to live their lives as normal as they can. Let me put it that way.
Okay, so what would be your your final word for the people, so that one, COVID-19 should go. Yeah, we're hoping that it's going to be soon. COVID-19 goes, how should we prepare just in case something else happens technologically? Then, what's your final word?
I think I've mentioned it a couple of times. A lot of us just a very large population of us just need to adapt to what our lives are now. We need to also systematically educate as many people that are not privy to information as we can. Get information to people as quickly as you can. Educate people on how to get this information. I think, okay, that's on a personal, interrelational note. We also need to plead to, probably the government and schools, to make education more accessible to students. How do they do that? Provide internet for them if they can, provide the gadgets for them, even if it's not for the students, at least for the lecturers. Even if it's a 1 week course on how to use Zoom, I think it'd go a long way rather than, can I hear you? Can I hear you? Can you guys hear me? Hello? On Zoom call all the time. So, I think it has to be a lending, when you have information, pass it on to people that don't have the information. I think that's. I don't want to hit the government too much because the government has a lot going on already. And then businesses should try as much as possible. They want to make money, yes, but make things as affordable as possible also. So.
Yeah, that's been your program, Familycore, and we'll be talking about COVID-19 and its impact on technology. And I've been discussing with Al-Amin. It's been great having you, Al-Amin. I want to thank you for coming, and we're hoping that when next we invite you to the studio, you would still give us your time. Yes, I hope you've enjoyed the session with Al-Amin. We've talked about COVID-19 and its impact on technology. We believe that what you need most, or what the lesson I've learned from this session is what you need most is to adapt quickly. We need to learn, we need to keep learning, relearn, unlearn, and relearn. That's what we need to do. Don't forget, we are now going to other segment of the program. Stay tuned.
The impact of this pandemic and technological attendant exposure to technology and technological gadgets. Also, with sequelae of mental illness that could be associated with it cannot be overemphasized. Before the advent of the pandemic, we are even having problem with internet addiction. We are having problem people using getting addicted to the use of all these electronic gadgets like laptops, phones, and the likes. Instead of these smartphones to bring families together, is creating a lot of gap among families. And because of the pandemic, we've not had any. We don't really have any other option because most of our meetings are online now, whereby we use Zoom platforms and others to have our meetings. And because of this, also our children, most of their works are done online, whereby they need to be exposed to the internet. And the impact of this on their mental well-being cannot be overemphasized. For example, some children that used to interact well with their parents, with their family members, they've developed new friends on internet. And these are the people they are interacting with. And the way they manage the information they get from these people has been a lot of negative, they have tipped a lot of them to having a negative, has tipped a lot of them to having negative impact on their mental well-being, especially our adolescents and our youth. Also, this period of pandemic, a lot of people are used to internet to the extent that they started developing a syndrome that we could call FOMO syndrome, fear of missing out. So a lot of people, when they wake up in the morning, the first thing they look out for, even before saying prayer to their God, the first thing they look out for is their phone. Is there any information that I've missed out? He will try as much as possible not to hit rather than not having data on his phone. This is how things are really degenerated into, especially in a time like this, whereby the level of our social interaction has reduced, and we are now focusing our attention on what we get from the internet through the use of our electronic gadgets. And because of this, our youths that have developed some anxiety disorder manifesting as FOMO syndrome that I mentioned earlier on, some are developing depressive symptoms because they expect so much from the information they are getting from outside there. At the end of the day, some of them are trapped in such a situation whereby they hate themselves. They regretted not to have met such people online. Some of them have been duped by the people they met online. And all this have to do with the current new normal that we have ourselves in. So in this sense, my advice, my counsel is to our young ones, especially our young ones over there, and those who have had issues with doing away with electronic gadgets and internet, those who have been given excuses whereby they need always also to be with their gadgets. That if they don't do without this thing, nothing negative will happen to them. You should try as much as possible to have a test of putting away with these things for some hours and see if they feel jittery, if they feel restless. And if they experience all these things, they need to know that they're having addiction. And as far as addiction is concerned, it usually leads to something negative, a mental aspect of people's health.
Welcome back. It's been your program, Familycore, and we'll be discussing COVID-19 and impact on technology with the tech geek. It says everybody's a tech expert, Al-Amin. It's been a long discussion, and I'm sure that we all have seen that technology we cannot remove technology from our lives for now, until further notice. So we need to keep adapting and keep learning, relearning, and unlearning and relearning. Until next time, when I come your way, remain blessed.